I've had this pain progressing for about 4 or 5 years now. So I then started looking at the NHS, the National Health Service, and if I was to have an operation, it would be 3 years. And then I came up with an agent in the UK, told me about this establishment here, Turan Turan. My name is Tony, I'm 75 years old and I'm from South Wales in the United Kingdom. I came ostensibly with a problem with my knee, which was diagnosed by an orthopaedic consultant surgeon who shall remain nameless in the UK, and apparently that's been diagnosed wrongly, and the actual problem is not with the knee whatsoever, it is with my hip, which I am having surgery tomorrow to rectify, and the joy I can't express millionfold. I've had this pain progressing for about 4 or 5 years now. You know, I've been on painkillers, didn't work. The pain was getting unbearable and the painkillers just weren't happening. So I then started looking at the NHS, the National Health Service, and it was just going on and on and on. In the end, I had a written document from the Welsh National Health Service. If I was to have an operation, it would be 3 years. If I was to go private, it would be £15,000. I haven't got £15,000. So basically it started out with me doing some research on the internet, and then I came up with an agent in the UK, told me about this establishment here, Turan Turan. That was as far as I went. Now what he didn't know and what this establishment didn't know is I then started going on Trustpilot. Trustpilot is the best review site going. I went on other review sites, but Trustpilot gave this place such outstanding, and then went on the website and 2 or 3 people have done videos, hence I did the reviews. Then I sent my file. I found out that I'd been invited to come to the Turan Turan in Bursa. I then started looking at flight alternatives. I was picked up by a Turan Turan driver who brought me all the way from Istanbul to Bursa, and this is all part of the service. It's fantastic. I've been through a battery of tests, x-rays, blood tests, TABI test. Then I was introduced to the surgeon. My first impression of the surgeon was, this man is so professional. He turned up in a crisp white medical coat. You know, he swept in with a very professional air, and he had me laid on the back, and he lifted my left leg up and he twisted it. He lifted my right leg up and I nearly hit the ceiling. And it was immediately and apparent that was what the problem was. Forget the knee, it was the hip. And within the space of minutes, the surgeon diagnosed correctly, and he instilled confidence. Now that to me means a lot, because basically I'm putting my life in his hands. For the operation tomorrow, I am not scared. It doesn't worry me whatsoever, because the thing is, I'm a realist. I used to be a scuba diver. I've been diving for many, 30, 40 years. Well, I couldn't go diving anymore because of my health. But now I'm getting my health back, and now I'm getting my hip back, then I shall start taking diving again. One of my favourite things is to go walking in the woods. But because I couldn't go walking in the woods, I put on weight. Because I put on weight, I couldn't go walking in the woods. So it's catch-22. So basically, having the operation tomorrow, I can start walking in the woods again. I had hip surgery on my right hip 2 days ago, and then I went down for surgery. I just closed my eyes. Next time I woke up, I'm in my bed. A new hip. Wow. And now I feel like a new man. I am walking up and down stairs. I'm walking all the length of the hallway, backwards and forwards, without a problem. So then they gave me the machines for bending like that, and the bending machines went from 82 degrees, 85 degrees, and then they had another thing, it's for DVT, where it compresses the muscles on the legs. I arrived here with crutches. Now I don't need crutches. Now I can say without one shadow of a doubt, and I'm not being paid to say this, I can highly recommend this establishment 100%. 100%. If I do now have another surgical need, I now know where I shall come. This is the 7th day after the operation. When I spoke to you before on film, I felt 100%. I feel 1000%, if there is such a percentage. No pain, no ache. I've now been given something new into my body. So my body had to adapt. Now getting better and exercising more, I now have started my long walk. Tomorrow night, GMT time, 21:50, I fly home. I belong to many forums, and these are where people want, ask problems, tell them you've got problems. Basically what I will do is I will start saying about the experiences in surgeries abroad out of the UK, and then they're going to get to read my experiences from start to finish. Basically I've just abridged a lot of that, but I will put it all down in the forum for people to read, and they can ask me any questions. I can highly recommend this establishment 100%.